welcome back. Today I have a different kind of video for you guys. I'm going to be talking about sequels that I really loved and also ones that I really didn't love, really didn't like whatsoever. I have 3 of each. I was just thinking about doing this kind of video, and 3 sequels that I really did not like just stuck to me, and also 3 sequels that I really did enjoy also stuck to me. So I'm not going to choose like the 3rd or 4th or 5th book in the series. I'm only choosing the 2nd book, only because I have so many sequels that I did enjoy, whether it be the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th book in the series, but I only have just a few that I didn't like at all, which is a good thing. I see that as a very good thing, because it outweighs, like the good outweigh the bad. But also I didn't want to make this video very long, and when I think of a sequel, I think, the 2nd book, and then the rest of them are just continuations, for me anyway, or conclusion if it's the 3rd. I mean, I did want to include Clockwork Princess, because that's like my favorite, but that's the conclusion, not a sequel, not to me. So again, I'm only choosing the 2nd book in the series, and I have 3 of each, and really I was thinking about doing like an honorable mentions type, where I have other 2nd books in the series that I really did enjoy, but again, I didn't want to make this so long, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find another video to put those in. I think I have a video in mind that'll sort of show those series that I really liked. But yeah, I only have 6 books to show you guys, because I really didn't want to make this very long. And also, I'm not going to really go into what the series is about much, because again, I don't want to make this too long. So we'll start with the bad. And I do have it like top, like there's a countdown to like the number 1 that I didn't like and the number 1 that I really liked. So yeah, I did put this in a type of order. So the 3rd and the least favorite has to be Eldest by Christopher Paolini. I read this years ago, and I really loved Eragon, which is the 1st book in the series. This is book 2 in the Inheritance cycle. Eragon is book 1, obviously, and I really enjoyed Eragon. I was really captivated and into it, and I was really enjoying it so much. And that was when I was like high school. So when I picked this up, I was expecting the same, and in the beginning I was getting it, but once that middle hit, I was just not enjoying anything. I literally had to put it down for like 6 months to a year, and then pick it back up and skim read the rest of it. I couldn't get into it whatsoever, but I didn't want this unfinished, because I did want to go into Brisingr and, well, Inheritance, which I still haven't, but I am planning on rereading this, because I have reread Eragon and still really enjoyed it, so I am planning on rereading this one. But I'm hoping that I will like it more now than I did back then, and I know there are certain things in here that I did enjoy. As the book as a whole, I felt was way too long, and there was just too many things that went on way too long. This series is about dragons, and, well, about Eragon, who finds a dragon egg, and it hatches, and it's really hard for me. It's about dragons and dragon riders, and this king that wants all the dragons for himself. So Eragon and the Fae and all these different creatures or anything, like the Fae and Eragon are going up against the king, and then there's orcs, and if you think about it, this series is like Lord of the Rings but with dragons. Really like this a lot, and dragon riders, and their storytelling, and I really liked Eragon a lot. This one I couldn't at all, and This one's like really like one of the hardest ones for me to describe, like the series. But again, I enjoyed it, and I love dragons. And if you like dragons and Lord of the Rings, I highly suggest picking up this fantasy series. Just be warned that this one is not as good as the first one or the third one. The third one I really enjoyed too. I do plan on picking it up again though. Another one that I haven't read in quite a few years and do plan on rereading the first book in the series along with this one and continuing on with the series is Tiger's Quest by Colleen Houck. I don't know. I read Tiger's Curse again in high school and really enjoyed it. And this has to do with, oh god, I can't remember her name. Kelsey, who finds this tiger and finds out that this tiger's in a circus or a zoo. I want to say it's either a circus or a zoo. Again, it's been quite a few years. But she finds this tiger and she finds out that he has been magically transformed. I think he was a prince. I know his name is Ren, and he was a guy turned into a tiger by a magic curse. It's also, this one I believe is set in India. The other one I believe was set in America, but I just don't know where, because again, it's been quite a few years and I haven't reread it yet. I do plan on it. But this one, I really enjoyed the first one. I was really captivated, though the ending kind of left me like, I don't know if I want to pick up the second book, because I'm kind of, afraid now. It's kind of like what happened with Poison Study, which I really loved it, but the ending left me like afraid to pick up the second one, just because I was afraid of what was going to happen with my two favorite characters. And this one had the same hesitance, but where Magic Study really worked, I felt this one didn't. And I just didn't like where this was going at all. I didn't like what was happening with Ren. And then this one also has Kishan, which is Ren's brother, and it's sort of now becoming a love triangle, which I wasn't liking Kishan. And yeah, I just didn't like this book, though I haven't continued on with the series at all. But I do own the whole series, plus her new book, plus the first book in her newest series, which I believe is Reawakened. I own that on my Kindle. I do plan on getting that in paperback or in physical copy. I am going to get that in a physical copy, just because that sounds really good. But yeah, wasn't a big fan. So the number one least favorite, worst, I think this is the worst, well, of course, this is the worst one I've read compared to all three of these. Like those, if anything, I give like a 2.5 stars, if anything. But this one was the worst, and this one got a 1-star rating. And that is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. Now, I have a whole review on the series, or at least the first 2 books plus the novellas, and then one just focus on this one and why I didn't like this whatsoever. So I'll link that down below. But literally, I couldn't stand Mare, which is the main character. I didn't like her. And if I don't like the characters, and if I don't feel connected or feel like I don't care about them, I don't care what happens to them, then I know I'm gonna hate the book. And I did. And a lot of people really enjoyed this one, which, to be honest, I don't know why. I mean, no offense, I really didn't like Mare, and I wasn't that into Cal or Keylorn or any of the other characters. I really didn't care what happened whatsoever. If they all died, then I probably would have been happier with that. I probably would have been like, okay, well, I'm satisfied, I'm done. But I don't know, I felt like this book was so... I really enjoyed Red Queen. I liked where Red Queen was going, and that was about Mare. Well, there's 2 factions in this world. There's the Silver Bloods and the Red Bloods, and the Red Bloods are like the poor, normal people, and the Silver Bloods are like gods, kind of. They have powers and they rule over everyone. And the Red Bloods are sort of like their sacrifices. Like, they're at war and the Red Bloods are fighting it, where the Silver Bloods are sort of fighting it, but they're not dying like the Red Bloods are. And I was really liking where that was going. I was enjoying how Mare, like, I was actually liking Mare as a character. I thought she wasn't bad, you know? She wasn't annoying or anything. She was just normal, and I was connecting with her, and I was fine. I was liking where the romance was going, and then the ending happened. I was like thrown like for a loop, and I was really liking that. And then I got to this one thinking I was really gonna enjoy it, but I lost that connection with Mare, and I lost how I just lost everything that I felt in the first book. It was gone, and I was upset, and I gave this a 1-star rating, and yeah, I wasn't happy at all. No. Okay, so now we're on to my favorite sequels. I really love these sequels. They stuck with me. Oh my god, I can't speak English. They really stuck with me, and I felt like where these were just, how do I say it? Like, where the first books were so much better than these, and where they left, like, the first book left me happy and these left me really upset. It's definitely different with these three. These felt me, or, oh my god, these left me feeling like they were much better than the first one, and feeling like even though I really loved the first book in the series, well, for two of them. One of them I really enjoyed the first book but wasn't loving it as much, and the second book really saved the series, I feel, and it went on to be much better. But where I really liked the first book, and I was really enjoying the first book, and these just blew me away and made the series so much better. So yeah, let's just get on with that. So for the third pick, or how do I say this? For number 3, I'm picking The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. This is the sequel to The Kiss of Deception, which The Kiss of Deception is about a girl, which I can't remember her name, Leah, who is a princess, and she has to marry, she has to get married to this prince to, I want to say, like, to just have a union between their two kingdoms. I don't know. I think they might be at war or something. I don't know. I don't really remember now. But I still really enjoyed the first book. But Leah has to get married to this prince, and she really doesn't want to. She doesn't feel like she should. And here's the thing. She's never met him before. So she's going to, you know, be in this arranged marriage to a guy she's never met. And so she sends him a letter to be like, hey, you know, we've never met. Can you just send me a picture just to know I'm not marrying somebody really ugly? Like, please? And he doesn't. And so she runs away. She's like, you know, I'm not gonna marry him. I'm just leaving. Bye! And so she runs away to a village with her maid, and they just, you know, they live there for a while, and they're really happy. But, of course, the prince, who's upset that she jilted him at the wedding, and he's gone to go find her. Also, an assassin has gone to go find her. So now she's being hunted down by the prince and the assassin. And what I really liked about the series is, in Kiss of Deception, you have no idea which boy, because she has met both of them, but you don't know which one's the prince and which one's the assassin, and neither does she. She doesn't even know the prince and the assassin are coming after her. All she knows is that she's met these two guys who are really nice and really hot, and now she's stuck in a love triangle. But as a reader, you have no idea which one's the prince and which one's the assassin. But you know that both of them are a prince and an assassin. You know they're there. You just don't know which one's which until the end. And I really liked the first one. I really enjoyed it. But the second one was so good. Like, it was just so amazing, and you were just like, I just didn't think it could get better after the first book, but it really did. And of course the ending was just like, oh no, like what's going on? This isn't good. And I thought that this one was gonna be like, I just didn't think it was gonna be as good as it was. I thought it was gonna go in this direction I wasn't gonna like, but it was really good, and I really enjoyed it, and I think I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Of course I did. Definitely pick up The Kiss of Deception if you haven't. It's really, really good. And the third one, The Beauty of Darkness, comes out in August, so I'm really excited for that. Now, for the one that I was enjoying the first one, but wasn't truly loving it, this is the sequel, Crowd of Midnight. The first one was Throne of Glass, and they're by Sarah J. Maas. I was liking oh my god, I can't talk. I was liking Throne of Glass a little. I was liking it, and I really like Sarah's writing, and I was liking Celaena. I was liking where everything was going. I was left feeling, I don't know, I was left feeling like I was missing something, and I don't know, it wasn't as amazing. I think I gave it like 4 stars. But this one came, and it gave me everything that I wanted. Celaena was so awesome, and there's Dorian and Chaol, and there's a love triangle going, of course, but this was so good. And then you get, like, you know, this darkness, and everything, like, what I felt like I was missing in the first one definitely delivered in the second one, and I give this 5 out of 5 stars. I really love Sarah J. Maas's writing and all of her characters, and I just felt like after this, the series was so amazing. It kept delivering every time, and it was so perfect. And I think the fourth one might be one of my favorites. I really love Queen of Shadows, but I really love Crowd of Midnight for definitely helping me get through the series, because I don't know if I would have continued on after Throne of Glass. I was really liking it, but until everyone started saying Crowd of Midnight was so much better than Throne of Glass, that's when I really picked it up and started reading it and really falling in love with the series. So I owe that. I owe this book for that. Yeah, really loved it. Definitely pick up the series if you haven't. Oh wow, I haven't even talked about Throne of Glass. Oh, you guys know what Throne of Glass is like, right? I mean, it's about Celaena, who's an assassin, and okay, so Celaena was stuck in the salt mines of Endovier, which is pretty much a prison, and she's let out as long as she goes into this contest to become the King's Champion, and it's pretty much a it's to the death. You know, they all fight to the death to see which one will survive and become the King's Champion. It's pretty much how it goes. There's a love triangle, which is really nice, between Celaena, the assassin, with Dorian, the prince, the crown prince, and Chaol, the captain of the guard. And I really, really love this series. It's so amazing. Pick it up. So now, number 1 of my favorite sequels ever. I've talked about this just this week. Talked about it last week. I just finished it last week. I really loved it, and you guys already know what it is because I can't stop talking about it enough. And really, this is what inspired me to do this video. This book here, just finishing this and loving this so much. Even though I loved the first one to death. I really loved it. I felt like it was one of my favorite books last year. It was so, so good. And then I read this one thinking, okay, it's gonna be just as good as the first one. And it wasn't. It was so much better than the first one. And I thought Court of Thorns and Roses was the best thing I read, like one of the best things I've read. But it was nothing compared to A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. She's like the queen of fantasy. I love her. I love her writing so much. Now the first one, Court of Thorns and Roses, is it's like a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but with fae. And you have Feyre, who lives in the human world, and she's hunting to get food for her family, and she hunts the wrong thing, and so she's taken to the fairy world to live out her days as retribution for what, for killing another fae. She killed a wolf that was a fae that was shapeshifted as a wolf. She didn't know. She had no clue. But the fae found out, and so they took her as retribution. And there's so much more that happens, but that's really all I'm gonna say because it was so good. It was like a whirlwind. There was so much that happened that I was just like reeling from it. But this one was so much better. This one was so amazing that I still can't get over how amazing it is. Oh my god. And this one continues off with Feyre, but she's going through some things. I can't really go into what this book is about. Just pick up A Court of Thorns and Roses if you haven't. If you have, and you didn't really enjoy it much, you thought it was okay, go into this one. So much better. Like, literally, it's so much better. Oh my god. This book is just so amazing. So amazing. That's really all I can say without, like, spoiling it or anything. And I already put up a very, very spoiler review, so if you want to go and check that out, I will link it down below. But yeah, that's it. Again, it's already 22 minutes, guys, and I tried to make this as short as possible. So I'm glad I didn't put any other books in here just because it's so long. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading!